That's right. That's what I typed. I typed the word. Woo! Because we're back. Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday night. It is 7:14 p.m. I should have given you some sort of warning prior to going live that I was trying to juggle everything, because tonight it is Earthtones Live with me, myself, and I. Not just on this side of the table, but on that side of the table too. I am in here completely by myself tonight. I thought about calling out, not calling out, but calling out to a guest or calling out to somebody. We're going to start doing that. My name is Benji. This is Earthtones Recording Studio. Behind me and around me and below me and above me and all that good stuff. And this is where I reside most days of my life. This is my business. This is what I do. I record people. I record bands. I record voiceover. I record singers. I record everything that you could possibly imagine. And it all happens right here at Earthtones Recording Studio. Just wanted to say a big thanks to Cole, my man Cole, now former intern Cole, as all my interns are done as of last week. They're all done. And so Cole is now coming in just on his own will, on his own accord, and helping with everything. And so he came in today and he set all this live stream stuff up. And then I just had one little cable problem there at the end that wasn't anything to do with Cole or his fault or anything like that. It was one of those last minute things where I was like, I had to switch around cameras. I only had two cameras working, and I was like, man, I know there's only one of me in here, but I'm going to get all three of the cameras working. So I hope everybody's doing good. And again, welcome, Earthtones Live, your only place in cyberspace to interact live in the chat with us about everything from studio recording, mixing sessions, guitars, amps, and of course, guitar pedals. And I got a couple tonight for you. And I want to say thanks for joining us. As always, if you're in the chat, I see that Terry is already in the chat. Again, my apologies for being late. Hopefully we have some of our regulars jump in tonight. And as always, this is a live forum. I am live. This is happening live right now. This is, if you're seeing this and it is currently 7:16 p.m. on a Tuesday night and you are not imagining things, this is live. And if you're watching, there's old Max. If you're like me, you even record things you didn't mean to. Yes, I do. I do record things that I didn't mean to. And see how this is a live format to me. I was kind of writing some notes today, which I had a little bit of time to do. I never really have time to prepare for the show. It's always by the seat of my pants, and I always go on and on and on blah, 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 for an hour and a half. So today I made some notes about things, and it's so funny that Max actually said that, like recording things that you don't mean to record. Yep, that's exactly right. So I actually made notes saying what I record and what this whole thing is about. But the main thing I want to stress tonight is that this is a live forum. Like, I'm looking at Terry, who is at Keef Riff, and I'm looking at Max, who is at Dark Pines Studio 7895, already in the chat on YouTube. I don't know if this is happening on Facebook, because I use a thing called Restream.io. It got a little weird on me a few live streams ago, because it used to go out to my Facebook page, my personal one, and it's really weird, man. Facebook is kind of like, everybody jokes about it being for old people, but I mean, it really is getting to the point where I'm just like, all right, guys, I love y'all, but it's just like, whew, man. I mean, my YouTube crowd jumps in and seems to want to participate a little bit more. So Facebook, guys, Facebook's got to step its game up to be to make it have. It's like they're making it harder. It used to be very easy. That was the one thing. So now it's like on my business page. I think it's on a group page. I don't even have time to check right now and see what it's on, but I know it's on all of that stuff. And so when people comment, I have my laptop here, and you'll see me looking at my laptop. I'm not just surfing the internet, although I would love to be surfing the internet and looking at guitars and looking at amps and looking at pedals and looking at recording gear and all kinds of good stuff. But what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the chat. And all of the chat comments from all of the platforms congregate right into me. And so we talk about all sorts of stuff, but I will tell you what I do is you guys do steer the conversation. You steer it every single week, and that's why I will be here for an hour and a half. I hope not tonight, but I will be here as long as it takes to get the job of live streaming. Not that it's a job, but to get the purpose of this live stream across. So if anybody has any questions, any comments about anything, any questions about recording in general, that's cool. We can always do that. Had some guitar stuff last week. Somebody was asking us about a product thing. We're able to kind of Google search and kind of help out with some of that. This is a live format. You are live. You are steering the conversation. So by all means, converse. So I do not have to make notes to follow every week to have something to talk to you about. But this is also a good format for me. So the reason I really started doing this, to be very honest with you, and I picked up starting doing it again, is that I'm not much for feeling the need. It's streaming on the studio face waste page, Max says. Okay, that's cool. It's not streaming on my personal face waste. Golly, you got me. I can't even talk anymore. Face waste page, Facebook page. It's not streaming on that, which is very strange. I don't understand why, but I know it's doing on the studio and there's a group one that I think it's on. So strange. Like X, which used to be Twitter, now they require a premium subscription to whatever. And I was just like, dude, I'm not paying to be on social media. Sorry, guys, but I'm not doing that. And Instagram is so stupid when it comes to this stuff. They make it so hard. And I'm like, why? Why do you make it hard? But I guess they really want more of like a TikTok vibe where it's just like, well, 30-second clips and everybody's brains melting while you're doing it. So there you go. So if I can be on YouTube here with my currently 3,400 subscribers, however many it is, because I had this massive Eric Gales live video that I shot of him and Matteo Mancuso playing. It's really up to my subscribers into YouTube, which is crazy to me, but it's cool and I like it. And again, I'm no million subscribers or anything like that, but just having that many people, the possibility of that many people to watch or to even look or to even kind of peek in and see what's happening is kind of cool. So anyway, without further ado, this week we're going to dive into live recording versus live studio recording versus overdub studio recording. And I'm going to talk about that and how the fact of doing a live band, a full ensemble in your studio, as opposed to recording one person at a time and keeping that, it really affects everything from, it obviously affects your setup for your session that day. It's going to also, Abe is back at school, Max. He started classes yesterday at App State, which was his first day of school yesterday, which was Monday? Yeah, he moved back last week. So he is, and Abraham will definitely be joining us off and on as he can sneak back into town. I think he's coming back into town. I think Abraham's coming back into town tomorrow, and he and his band are actually going to play on one of the news morning shows. One of the news morning shows here locally, they do a thing where they have bands on in the morning. So I think they're going to play live in the studio Thursday morning possibly. So he's going to do that. They're going to come in here and rehearse on Wednesday. Oh, God, they're going to rehearse tomorrow night. I totally forgot about that. They're going to come in here and rehearse. Then they're going to do the thing Thursday morning. Then he's back out. And then what else was I going to say? Can't remember what I was going to say. He's got a show on like the 22nd, maybe this weekend or something, at a place called ETC in Greensboro, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool little joint in town. But anyway, so back to what I was talking about. This week, I do want to delve into live recording versus studio recording, and live recording in the studio as opposed to overdub recording in the studio. How it affects your gear choices, if you're that type of studio, how it affects your design of your studio, obviously. because you got to have things. Max can tell you that. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Max. Live is where the magic happens. You're definitely right on that, man. I mean, it definitely it affects purchases. It affects gear purchases. Like, how many mic preamps do you need running simultaneously, right? If you're overdubbing and you just do singers, you can pick up 4 or 5 really banger vocal channels, and you don't have to. You can allot your money to that, as opposed to having to say, I want to buy 8 Neebs or 8 APIs, so I have 8 of the same thing on the drum kit, or something like that. It really affects that. And also tonight we're going to talk about also beat. Hey, now what did I just do? Come on now. I mean, I know I'm by myself, but hey, I learned how to stop it. I know y'all wanted to hear the theme song again, so that's just why I accidentally hit it. So what I wanted to say too, let's just run down my list of things that I did. The band Beat is coming roaring back on tour, capital BEAT, which is basically a new sort of pared down touring version, all-star touring version of King Crimson, with playing the 80s King Crimson records. I think on the last tour it was Discipline, 3 of a Perfect Pair, and I cannot remember the other. I cannot remember the other album, but like 80s King Crimson stuff. They're playing a lot of that, and so they're coming back on tour. I missed them last time. It's Adrian Belew, killer guitar player and singer, frontman. Tony Levin on bass. I point over here because this is where he would be standing. Tony Levin on bass. This time, Terry Bozzio on drums instead of Danny Carey. They had Danny Carey last time from Tool. And it wasn't as intriguing to me with Danny Carey because I'm not a Tool fan per se. I mean, I'm not there. You're either a complete 1,000%. Here's my take on Tool. Not that you asked, but it's just me. I can say whatever I want to tonight. I have nobody telling me what to do, internet. So here's my take on Tool. I get it, and I get why people dig it. I get why people kind of freak out about it. Where it went over my head is where Maynard had like 2 or 3 side projects. He had like Pussifer, and then he had this A Perfect Circle thing, which is huge. And I remember seeing when Tool was becoming big, and I look at them as like a metal band, or something like that. I guess like a prog band kind of. Sort of proggy, but just sort of like art rock almost. And when Maynard did the whole like Perfect Circle thing, I was so puzzled. I remember seeing a tour, and it was like a summer amphitheater tour, and it was a Perfect Circle, and it was a Perfect Circle. I think it was a Perfect Circle headlining a Shed tour, which the Sheds are like your amphitheaters. For your in your towns, your outdoor amphitheaters. And so Tool was on this Shed tour. I mean, not Tool, Perfect Circle was on this Shed tour, and I was just like, is this the side project of the Tool guy that's on a headlining like tour? And that kind of blew my mind because I knew no songs by them. I know they had radio hits at that time, but I probably wasn't listening to modern rock radio per se. That was when things like Disturbed, and there's another D band in there. Starts with D. No, it doesn't start with D. Godsmack and Disturbed and all that. And I think that's when they were lighting up rock radio. And yeah, Max, you're right, man. More like 24 or more. You are correct on that. But yeah, so that's my whole take on the Tool thing. So when the first Beat tour came around with Danny Carey, and Steve Vai on guitar. There's the kicker. That's why I'm really intrigued, is because I want to go see Steve Vai play something besides Steve Vai music. He's out now, and I mean, I love Steve. He's my guy, man. So it's just like when I when I see the thing that he's doing, like there comes a time in artists' careers when they have to break up the, I won't call it monotony, but they have to do something. Everything is becoming so live now, so live performance oriented, as opposed to just selling records. It's not, the old thing used to be what we call the album tour cycle. So it'd basically be put out an album, go out and tour for a year and a half about that album. Come off a tour for 6 months, write it and record another album, go back out, tour for that album for a year, or a year and a half, depending on how big the band was. So that became the album tour cycle. And so what's happening now is bands are getting out of that, they're obviously not in that anymore because records aren't selling. So it doesn't really matter if you take a break and you record a brand new record. All you're doing is spending a lot of money. You're not really making your money back on the record per se, like you used to, as far as album sales and stuff like that. There's, streaming and everything like that. And everybody does want new music and wants to put out new music and record new music. And that's cool too. So like the Steve Vai thing that's happening now is the Vai Satriani, the Satch Vai tour, and they kind of have a record out now. It's got a few songs on it. It's got couple singles or something like that, a couple videos, and the Satch Vai thing is interesting. But as a Steve Vai fan, I don't want to go see that. I don't know why. I saw it once. I've already seen it. I've actually seen it twice. I take that back. I've seen it twice. I saw it 2 nights in a row somewhere, Charlotte, Raleigh, something like that. Eric and I actually went to the Charlotte one. I actually had tickets to it prior to that, and we all rode down and hung out. And, of course, when he walked in the place, there was a line of people at his seat, I mean, you're in a house full of guitar players, for God's sakes, at a Vai Satriani show, and Eric Gales walks in the door. It's like, what do you think's going to happen? So that was fun. But anyway, so I saw that tour with Steve and Satriani twice, and it was really cool. But what you get is sort of like a greatest hit set. Like, nobody's going deep. Satriani's not going deep. I mean, if you think about each one of them maybe playing, if they're doing an hour a piece, which I don't even really think they did, I think they might have done 45 minutes each and then combined together to do some covers, kind of like they did at G3, which was cool. Again, no complaints as a Steve Vai fan, but they're continuing to do that tour. And I just have no desire to go back and see it 3 and 4 times because I'm going to get Satch Boogie, Always With Me, Always With You. If I got the song Friends from Satriani, that would be lucky, but probably not going to get that. With Vai, I'm going to get, For the Love of God. I'm going to get, I don't even think I'm getting I don't even think I'm getting the audience is listening anymore. And I'm getting things off the new Steve Vai record, which in my humble opinion is probably down at the bottom of the list as far as my take on Steve Vai records. And I love Steve Vai. Again, he's my guy. I followed his recording career and his all this stuff from, I won't say day one, but I've been pretty early on. And Flexible is my favorite record of all time, not just by him, but by anybody. I think it's a masterpiece with somebody not even knowing it's a masterpiece, just because of the way it's laid out, because it's all on analog 8-track. It all sounds like it's on analog 8-track. It sounds like, he was using limited gear. I love that. I think that's really, really cool. But when I go to see that, I want to see some deep cuts. So this new album of Steve's, the latest one, In Violet, yeah, that's what it's called, In Violet, was okay. It wasn't great. The songs are amazing, but what happened was, it's like the old days, where I'm talking about an album tour cycle. In the old days, kids, in the old days, back in the 50s and the 60s, when they first started selling records, and people actually had stereos to play records on, they started out by making 45s, the little ones, that play at 45 RPMs. And so they started out by making 45s, and then what would happen is a band would put out a single, and they would have a B-side to that single, which would be another song they had just recorded in that session, nothing that was supposed to be a hit, or obviously it wouldn't have been a B-side. Then they would release the next single, it would also have a B-side. So in releasing 2 singles, you get 4 songs total, because your 45 RPM had a song on each side. Then you get say a third and a fourth single off that album, and then you have 8 songs, and those 8 songs might fit those 8 songs. So an album, and why it was called an album is just like a photo album. It was basically a collection of the singles that had been released up to that point. So once you could buy the album, you had already heard all the songs. It was just a way to sell you all of them at one time. I'm going to sell you all these 45 RPM records that are singles, and then I'm going to actually sell you the same songs again, and there might be 2 more extra songs on the record that you hadn't heard yet. They're not singles. The first 4 or 5 on there are singles, plus the B-sides. So an album was called an album because it's like a photo album. It was a collection of songs that had been previously recorded up to that point. The reason I'm getting at that is because with Steve Vai's recent record, In Violet, it was a collection. The first thing, 5 or 6, had been recorded and released as videos during COVID. And I can't fault him for that, because COVID kind of screwed everybody out of being able to work, but it kind of made a lot of us hunker down, in the studio, which we like. We didn't like the fact that it was COVID doing it, but we like being in a studio. We like having a reason to not have to go out and do other things. So when it was impossible, damn near against the law to go out and do other things, we got to record. And so Steve Vai was no different. He was doing live streams, and he was doing live streams of him playing all these new songs. So when he released In Violet, it already had 5 or 6 songs on it that I had already heard. That was my big beef with it, is it wasn't a brand new, killer, ridiculous, and everything he had released up to that point, album-wise, had been this new 15-song collection, and he's got this whole thing called Real Illusions, and he's got parts 1 and 2 that he's already done, and parts 3 and 4, part 3 is supposed to be, it's a whole, 2 singles were huge albums. Yeah, albums had 10 to 12 songs, as Max is saying in the chat. Albums had 10 to 12 songs, including the single. Yeah, 2 singles were huge albums. Yeah, well, and that's the thing is albums when they started getting recorded and released as an album, that's when they started getting maybe a couple of singles. But what I'm saying is, like, if you look at, like, the Beatles, all of the first Beatles recordings and a lot of the band's recordings, all everybody was doing was releasing singles. The Beach Boys, if you look at all, like, I had started watching that Beach Boys documentary last night. It's amazing. I didn't make it to the end, but hopefully when I get home tonight I will. The Beach Boys documentary that came out last year sometime. I have a few guitar pedals from it. I should go grab one tonight. I started watching that on Disney Plus last night. Pretty brilliant, pretty amazing, and what it would show is it would show them writing and recording new songs, and then they were just releasing them as singles. So you'd have a single and a B-side. So they weren't really, when they first started releasing songs and recording them and putting them out, they weren't putting them out with the intent on only releasing them when the album became available. Even the first couple of singles, and then releasing the album with a bunch of stuff you hadn't heard. Normally the album was already 4 to 5 songs that you had heard. So anyway, that's my whole point to this Steve Vai In Violet album. Just my personal opinion. The songs on it are cool. There's a few songs that are really, really good, and there's a few that I'm just kind of like, And I mean, really what all the Steve Vai fans are wanting is we're wanting Real Illusions 3. But I think for some odd reason, I think he's putting that off. I think he's going to do a lot of other stuff, and I think if my hunch is right, I think that may be his final. I mean, I don't think the guy's ever going to retire, but I think he's really waiting, to do that. Because when he does those Real Illusions records, he goes out on tour and he's playing deep into the record. I mean, he's playing a hour 45 set of just blazing guitar and deep, like his Real Illusions Reflections, that first one. That tour was amazing. That's the best tour I think I've ever seen. He did an acoustic set in the middle of it that had some old songs in it. He did just deep cuts off the new record. He did older stuff. Really, really good. It's just becoming, all of that stuff's becoming homogenized now. So getting back to, and I know I've already wasted, I don't know how much time, it's already 7:39. Ha! Keith Riff says COVID was terrible, but it led to my most creative period writing and releasing music in my life. Yeah, I believe that. It kind of, it didn't really necessarily force a lot of us, but, we didn't have any other, there was nothing, no distracting anything. I hated the fact that I couldn't operate my business, but at the same time, I was kind of like, I'm not much on people. I'm not much on people anyway, and I joke around about it, but I'm really just kind of like, man, unless it's absolutely necessary, do not people me to death with anything. So I kind of dug being alone, but we're kind of those alone, isolated people, man, that if I just had to be in this place every day, not have to deal with anybody else in the world, I would be perfectly cool with me. Except for you guys that are in the chat. So anyway, so what I'm getting at is I want to go see this next Beat tour. So I have tickets to the Deepak show. Got 4 tickets to the Deepak show, and I'm stoked because Terry Bozzio is on drums. And I don't think I've ever seen Terry Bozzio play live ever. Steve Vai is on guitar. So half of this band, and they're going to be playing material. I'm not that 80s King Crimson versed. I don't really know that much about King Crimson from the 80s, but I will before I go see them. And I'm just like, I just want to be just knocked out and overwhelmed with all the odd timing. I think there's 2 sets with no opener, which is great. And it's amazing to me, man. So it's another chance just to get to see Steve play in a setting that's absolutely no Steve Vai songs. It's going to be pretty cool. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Yep. So Beat is coming back. Also, on the list here, there is a new posthumous Alan Holdsworth record that is coming out. Do you know that? Do you know that? Huh? Do you know it? Do you know that there is a new, old Alan Holdsworth record coming out? The reason that I found out about it is because Steve Vai is putting it out. I know that name leaves my lips quite a bit, but Vai is putting it out on his Favored Nations label. Oh yeah, man. I see what you're saying. Terry says, I'll always remember wearing a mask in the big room there at Earthtones. Yeah. Yeah, man. It was crazy. The COVID thing was cuckoo to me after the fact. I look at it and I just roll my eyes now because I'm just like, damn, man. Like, I had to make a COVID video. I had to make a COVID video to put it on my website to say, like, here's what our COVID policy was. I had film studios asking me about, yo, Mr. Gale is in the chat. What is up? Eric Gale, no S, is in the chat. So Eric, we're just talking about all sorts of stuff. I don't know how we got into COVID, but we were talking about. So yeah, during COVID, Eric and I recorded. Eric Gale's with an S, re-recorded every day, man. That was when we really got in here and put our heads down, man, and we worked. We worked every day, and it was great. There's a whole vault full of stuff, man, that I can't really say a lot about, but I will tell you straight up, when it comes out, you'll lose your shit. You'll lose your minds. And that is all I can say about that. So there's a new Holdsworth record coming out, and it's on Steve Vai's Favored Nations record label. It is called Live at Yoshi's, and I think Yoshi's is a club in Oakland that they said. I'm not too familiar with it, but I think there's some YouTube footage of it, but this is actually properly done. This is going to be released on DVDs. I think it's on vinyl. I'm not sure. I think I ordered it. Maybe I may have ordered it on vinyl. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure, but when we met, when we hung out with Matteo Mancuso, COVID was totally a joke. It was crazy. So when we hung out with Matteo in Charlotte, we talked about, we all three talked about Holdsworth. Me, him, and Eric just sat there in the dressing room, man, and we just talked about Holdsworth. And Alan Holdsworth is such an influence on so many people. The first time that I ever heard his name was reading an Eddie Van Halen interview. And Eddie talked about Holdsworth, and everybody talked about Holdsworth and his legato. And I was like, okay, I don't understand who this dude is. Like, I don't even know that I could have found an Alan Holdsworth record in my local record store at the time that I would have been reading about this stuff. So I latched onto him way later, you know, and watching that cat play is insane. Hearing his recordings, Abraham pulled up a record the other night by it's a Jean-Luc Ponty record with Holdsworth and oh God, who's the other guitar player? I can't remember who the other guitar player is. Abraham didn't know who he was, and he said his name, and I was like, yes, and I knew who he was. He's a session guy. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you guys are right, man. Holdsworth was a genius, and Max says most underrated guitarist ever. I thoroughly 1,000% agree with that. And I will be buying that Holdsworth record. But, man, we have been, like I say, when we talked to Matteo Mancuso, he was just in the, we talked about Holdsworth. And if you watch him play, Matteo's legato, even though he plays and picks with his fingers and no pick, is very much, I mean, you know, you're playing legato, so it really doesn't mean it's just kind of like what you're starting, you know, what device are you starting the first of, you know, your 10-note legato pull-off thing with, a pick or your fingers, you know. And Matteo was just like, he was so fluid, his playing was so fluid. It was very Holdsworth. And it was, you know, it was amazing to me. So this new record, watch out for that live at Yoshi's. Let me see if I can put it in the chat. I'm sure you guys have your, you know, you're probably pretty quick on the draw as far as, oh, well, there it is. But where? Come on, man. Yeah, there it is. Oh, God. What? No. Hold on one second, guys. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Oh. I'm trying to find where it actually is here. Oh, there's a good it's a Facebook thing though. I don't want to put that up there. Nope, that's not it. That looks like a bootleg of it. Don't want that. Golly, so apparently this has been not released before, but I don't think this is on the same label. So it's Chad Wackerman and Holdsworth and and Jimmy Hayslip. Okay, anyway, I can't find a link to it. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I was going to put it right on in the chat, and I can't find the actual link that I want to find. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me click on this, and I'll find it for you right quick. Okay. Let's go here then. Whoops. And if anybody's wondering, this is the exact same noises that I make when I'm typing on my computer by myself, because I am by myself. So let's go here. There's the link to, that's the link to order it. And that way, if you guys want to check it out and see exactly what is on that thing, you can. Okay, back to what we were talking about. Oh, so next on the list is, and Terry had actually, Keith Riff had actually typed this very, very first in the chat at 7:13, but I guess we all saw the news this afternoon that Frank Beard, legendary drummer for ZZ Top, has passed away. I just saw that literally about 2 hours ago, maybe something like that. So, how many of you have seen ZZ Top live? I'll raise my hand. I think I've only seen them once. I should have seen them more. I'm sure they will continue touring because I guarantee you that those other two guys, just like Dusty Hill, I guarantee you those other two guys are just like, keep it going. Because, think about it, man. Think about, especially at that level, right? You don't want anyone to forget about the music. I mean, think about how many bands are still alive and kicking, and people want to see them live, and people want to celebrate that music, and they just get standoffish and weird about it. And I'm just like, there's other guys, man, that are out there just busting it, still going, and they don't want to stop. And the guys that are getting like health problems and all that stuff. I remember Dusty Hill. They'd said that Billy Gibbons said that Dusty Hill was just like, dude, you got to keep this thing going. And I mean, obviously, I would think that those. There's Dale Lasley. What's up with you, dog? Okay, so that is the last thing on my list after Frank Beard, is I have an announcement to make about next week's show. But anyway, yeah, just wanted to say rest in peace to Frank Beard. Oddly enough, the only member of ZZ Top without a beard, named Frank Beard. I wonder if that's real. Do you think that's real? Is that a real thing? Is that his real last name? Somebody please Google search that. A few times for the Top. Yep. Okay. Saw him in Houston. Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. It's pretty epic. I tell you where I went deep backwards on ZZ Top. As I would hear, because ZZ Top to me is what I would hear on radio, probably in the late 70s, I guess. Early 80s, even pre. What was the record? Not Afterburner, the one before that, with the whole. She's got a legs. That one. God, what was the name of that record, guys? Is it his real name? Okay, I see. It's his real name. Wow, that was genius. What was that album called? With the car and legs and all that. It wasn't Afterburner. God, it was called something else. Please tell me what it was called. Somebody in the chat, tell me. But yeah, that album, they released a thing called the Six Pack or something like that, and they went back and remixed all their old shit like LaGrange and everything to have all this 80s reverb on the drums to make it sound like those new records. And I was just like, what I mean, I was old enough and I was aware of music enough at that point to know that was not the version of the song that I remember hearing. Dry, dead, funk-sounding drums, on all that old stuff with no reverb. Everything dry as a bone, sounded killer. And then all the radio stations, I want to say, were probably obligated to play Frank Lee Beard is his birth name. Get out of here, man. I think that all of the radio stations, when this ZZ Top 6-pack album came out, they were all obligated to play these newer versions, which again, LaGrange, when it goes into the drum break, going into where it goes out of the intro into the thing, it's just got massive reverb, almost like re-triggered drums or something like that. And that was a thing that the band did. They wanted it. They wanted to put out a version of these older songs that sounded Eliminator. Okay, there you go. Yep, Eliminator was it. Eliminator, that was, yeah. So they were trying to make all their old songs sound like Eliminator, which was a hit. I mean, it was a hit album. It was a massive hit album. So why would you not want to do that? But I didn't realize how incredible those original recordings sounded until I went back and bought this thing called, I'm going to look up what the box set was, and I'll tell you where I bought it. It was called It was called Chrome, Smoke, and Barbecue. And it was a box set. Oh, your buddy was A2 on Eliminator. Well, get out. All right. Anyway, Chrome, Smoke, and Barbecue. I was at Sam's Club. We had a Sam's Club membership. I think the boys were just little, man. So probably early 2000s maybe. And this Chrome, Smoke, and Barbecue box set of ZZ Top stuff had all the original versions, back on the original versions of stuff, released with no reverb on anything. But man, I'm telling you, my two favorite ZZ Top songs. One I just discovered recently, and I saved it as a favorite in my Apple Music because it had a chord progression in it that blew my mind. But the other one is, my favorite song is Brown Sugar. Can I get a little love for Brown Sugar by ZZ Top? Not by the Stones, but by ZZ Top. Much better version of a completely different song. And at the beginning of Brown Sugar on the ZZ Top tune, he's playing, obviously probably his Les Paul into an amp, but he's singing into the mic at the same time. And I don't know whether the amp is in the room with him or whether it's in an ISO booth, but you can hear, you go back and listen to it. Just you don't even need AirPods. You can hear it coming out of you could probably hear it coming out of your phone speakers. So what I dig is that on that song, the Brown Sugar intro, if you listen to it, where he's going, my friends, they all tell me, boom, boom, man, you gotta do something, my friends, they all told me. I can't remember all the words to it, but it's such a great song, right? And that's how my Brown Sugar is gonna change your life. And he's playing his Les Paul, and it's plugged into an amp, and you can hear the acoustic sound of the electric guitar strings coming into his vocal mic. That's the kicker to the whole track. And then it goes into a really groovy, bum 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 ka-dum bum ka-dum dum bum ka-dum bum, really killer. But that intro to Brown Sugar, to me, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Like that was it to me. Terry says, my high school band first played ZZ Top songs in 73. I guess I really learned to play live on that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, and they were so genius. I mean, no wonder they became huge. I mean, they were so... Billy Gibbons is so friggin' good, man. But they played together. And people don't realize how many hit songs Dusty Hill sang. Like, he sang a lot of those tunes. But anyway, so the Brown Sugar song, man, with the acoustic sound of the electric guitar strings coming off the electric guitar into the vocal mic as he's playing it and singing at the same time, is the whole brilliant part of that. And then you realize that there's a lot of older tunes. You guys might be able to tell me, I'm obviously not barking up the wrong tree, or I wouldn't say anything about it, but there are guitar sounds, and I want to say that there's a record I read, a modern record that I read about this happening in, where as they were recording all their electric guitar tracks, they actually had a mic on the electric guitar so you could hear the acoustic sound of the strings. And I thought, man, what a great way to get clarity out of a really distorted guitar is to do that. I mean, that's got to be great if your guitar sounds great acoustically. I'm sure, but anyway, so pretty brilliant. And then the other song, God, what is my other favorite ZZ Top song? I'd have to find it. Anyway, I don't want to spend a lot of time. Yeah, Billy has definitely right, man. Terry saying that Billy had some light strings, and he was saying that he got that from B.B. King, that he played B.B. King's guitar, and the strings were so light, or played B.B. King's guitar, and was asking him the gauge of his strings, or vice versa, or something like that. And B.B. asked him what he was using, and he was using like 11s or something. And B.B. said, "Man," he said, they make lights. He said, "Why you working so hard? Why would you want to work that hard?" And he said, so Billy started using went back down to 9s, and then there was a Billy Gibbons signature set that they made a few years ago that were 8s, and then recently there's a set, and I'm going to find them and put them in the chat. Let me see here. Hold on. Oh, I can't even type. No, come on. This is what I sound like when I'm typing. I talk to myself, tell myself how stupid I am. Okay, let's do this. Reverend, I'm going to put yes. I'm going to put this Sweetwater link in the chat. Reverend Willie's lottery brand electric guitar strings 007 to 038. Super fine. I'm like, man, come on. That's a big old link in that chat. I'm sorry, but that's the yeah, Mr. Gale says he uses 7s or 8s. I could never do that. I have way too heavy a touch all the years. Using tools that can remove a limb. Yeah, I totally get that, man. If Abe don't show me what? What'd you show? What? So Billy Gibbons strings, 07 to 38. I have a guitar with 9s on it at home. Just it's not a beater guitar. I just don't have it here. I don't use it on sessions. But a lot of the 80s stuff that I'll go home and play, it's just got a strap bridge on it, and it's a Charvel that actually has a strap bridge with no locking nut, and I can tune it down. So I can tune it down a half step, and I will tell you straight up, a half step tuned a half step down with 9s on it is the most fun to play. It's so you just have to breathe on it, and it frets itself. It's not, there's not a lot of work going into my left hand. I'm just like, wow, this is great. And I know when Eric comes in and tracks a lot, if he has a song that's in standard, like say the riff is in standard, he plays in a half step down. The Reverend Billy technique. Yeah. Oh yeah. Eric plays a half step down, and if he has a song that he's playing on that has a riff that's very open string oriented, like you really got to tune the guitar. Sometimes he'll play a half step down and just play, if the song's in standard tuning, he'll just play the solo where he has to play it on the neck. He doesn't have to necessarily tune the guitar the way the guitar player on the track has it tuned. So he'll do that and then comment about how it screws with him to play in standard, because the tension on the guitar, you got to think about the tension, is totally different. And if you're used to zinging around with it a half step down like that, and then you got 10s on and you tune up to standard tension, man, you're kind of like, and then it affects if it's a guitar you're used to playing that you have set up for a half step down, it affects your action, and all sorts of stuff. And then you don't have time, we don't have session time to sit here for 2 hours and set the guitar up, in a standard tuning exactly the way. So it's like he'll just tune it to standard and, just like, man, I could play so much more stuff if I was in, but I mean, he'll play it. It's not like he can't. It's not like it impedes him at all. Let's just say that. But it's one of those things where you don't really realize until you play a guitar tuned down like that you're like, okay, this is a thing, man. Like it makes me want to play more, But okay, so I got one more announcement to make. I didn't even get to the whole first thing on my list. I just kind of started talking about everything. So we'll talk about that again next week, which I always say. But next week, speaking of next week, Mr. Dale Lastly, who is in the chat as Megatone Amps, I think. Are you in here as Megatone Amps? Yeah, Megatone Amps. Dale is in the chat, I think, still, as Megatone Amps. And Dale is going to be on here live with us next week. I'm going to have Dale Lastly right here. And we're going to pull some things off of my laptop into the screen, into the feed. And we're going to show you some photos. I've got all the photos of the rebuild of my 74 Marshall metal face, they call it. It's a plexi, but it's a metal face. So it doesn't have the plexiglass. It's just the metal face on it that we did a rebuild on. I say we. Dale did the rebuild on. Grill clothed it. Had a couple of speakers that the rats had eaten out, and had those reconed. And Dale went through the whole amp, gave it all the love that it needed. Had a new transformer wound for it. Is going to be able to talk about all of that. And so, if you guys are into amps and rebuilds and really resurrecting an old vintage amp that literally was an original owner 74 Marshall Plexi, which is unheard of finding, especially in your local area. This one was in Archdale, and the guy just came in here and we struck up a deal. I bought the amp from him, and then it needed some work, so it went over to Dale's and we got it all done, and it sounds amazing. I have not played it on this show yet because I want you to hear it mic'd up, and I'm going to have help on the live stream. I'll have somebody here next week, so I won't have these vocal mics in. I'll put a mic on it. I might even put it in the booth in there to where we can actually show it to you a little bit, and then maybe put it in the booth and have it all, have it all mic'd up, so you can hear this thing really, really roar and do its thing, because it's amazing. It sounds completely amazing. So yeah, that is going to be a totally incredible episode. So let's play a couple of pedals, shall we? I've only got two up here, and I got one out because I really wanted to hear. And first off, let me give you guys a little bit. Let's get some of this for just your participation tonight in the chat. I appreciate it. That's right. They're saying, Earthtones, Keith, Rip, Eric, Gale. That's what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying right there. So let me get these hooked up here. The first pedal I've got that we're going to look at on the down camera is the massive MASSIF Savage Wave Destroyer by Frost Giant Electronics. It's a Savage Wave Destroyer. I would think something is going to sound pretty savage and pretty destroyed, if I'm not mistaken. Sounds like what it's going to happen. So if you guys can see that pedal, 'tis right here, right next to a copy of my my Solar record from let's see what year this thing was released. I actually have a copy of it here. I do not have 2010. Wow. Okay, so I released that record. Man, wow, was it really 16 years ago? Holy crap, guys. That was a long time ago. I keep thinking this record was released like 5 or 6 years ago. Oops. Yeah, so this record that's right beside the pedal is called A Vast Tight String Conspiracy. It is released under my name, Benji Johnson. And I am going to re-release, probably remix and remaster this record and re-release it, maybe on vinyl. I'm actually going to have some physical CDs. If you look, this one doesn't have any in it. I have a lot of covers that I got printed for some odd reason, and I don't have any of the physical CDs. So I am going to actually, and you can see my Zion 90 on the cover right there. It's a guitar I'm going to play tonight. So this will be re-released through the new Definitely Stereo Records record label. Probably not the first release on the label, but it won't be far behind. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to remix and remaster that one. I've got the original. I found the original Pro Tools session for it, and it's so cool. It's crazy because the reason that sorry about that. Let's see here. Let's see where I'm going with this. The reason that the reason that I did that record is because I was learning how to I was learning how to write and record with MIDI stuff and learning how to use software instruments and all that kind of stuff. And as I was doing it, I would write little riffs, and I would put drum patterns and other instruments and pianos and stuff like that on it. So I was writing these songs just as like demo little songs to learn all this stuff. And lo and behold, I ended up with a record. And there it is. It's actually on all your streaming services if you ever want to listen to it. I mean, it's a guitar instrumental record. I wouldn't call it a shred record. Not by today's standards anyway, but it's fun to listen to. Yeah, look for a re-release on that. All right, so. Yeah. That is my Zion 90 guitar. And this pedal that you're looking at is the Massive. It is by Frost Giant Electronics, and it only has one knob on it. And I do not know what that knob does, but we're all getting ready to find out. Are you ready? I'm going to click it. Are you ready? Oh, yes. Come on. I think that's supposed to be a fuzz or something, but I'm going to tell you, friends and neighbors, I would straight up use that as a distortion pedal right there at high noon. Man! Whoops, sorry about that. That's high noon. Let's go a little higher, shall we? Let's go about 3/4, see what happens. Woo! Golly! Wow, that gets like talky. Yeah, listen to that. Wow, that's great. I don't even want to know what all the way up does. So all the way up, it feels like to me that this thing is a volume. Yeah, because when I go down like that, the distortion kind of stays the same. Let's go all the way up. Wow. It's like you barely just gotta touch it, like it's so hot, man. Like. literally just like taking my fingers and just kind of rubbing them against the strings. I'm not even really like plucking them out, and that's how much gain. But the cool thing is, listen to this. It's not like it's a fuzz pedal. It's not like it's just flipping out. I can take my hands off the guitar. It's cool, but it's like. Wow. All right. Oh, yes. And by the way, I did tell you Frost Giant Electronics, handmade in Texas. Oh, hallelujah. Massive, savage. It looks like it says sausage. I don't want a sausage wave destroyer. I want the savage wave destroyer. Cool thing is, when you flip it up here, it says Fuzz Worship. I have no idea what that means. Oh, hold on. Let me get the top down. Sorry. Now I can show you. There we go. So we got the Frost Giant Electronics Massive right there, all the way up. Fuzz Worship on the end of the pedal. Again, don't know what that means, aside from you must worship the fuzz, as you should. God. Woo! All right. I think that all gets plenty of applause. Yep, all around. Worship, worship, massive, massive. I think that's what they're saying. That's exactly what I think they're saying. That's what I think they're saying. They're screaming for more, but I'm just going to have to turn it off right now because I have one more pedal to play for you tonight, friends and neighbors. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention. Y'all get you a close look of the new Earthtones Dickies work shirts, black and white and gray plaid with the Earthtones Recording Studio patch, embroidered patch, right there. You can get you one. I don't have them available online, but if anybody does want one, let me know. And I think they're going to be like $30 because these are not cheap shirts. Even my cost on them is not cheap. So I think they're like $30. So hit me if you want one, and I'll get you one. I got all sizes. I think I got super extra big boy 3X and 4X. I got like 10 or 11 of them. So I've got at least one in every color, I think. Every color. Every size. I can't think right now. Woo, watch out. Okay, my next and last pedal of the night. I'm only playing 2 tonight. Oh, my God, those lights are jacking with my eyes. I'm going to slide this pedal up, and I'm going to introduce to you, and I have played it on this show before, but since we have had the Earthtones Live reboot, I have not played it. This is the Defender by Alexander Pedals, and if anybody knows Defender, let me tilt it so it's not actually glaring. I don't know if it's just got a weird glare to it because those lights are on. Here, let's turn them on. Oh, my God, everything's on. Oh, my Lord. Okay, so this Defender pedal has, it's a distortion pedal, but it also has like slap. It has a knob on it. But it looks, so let's just state the obvious. It looks killer because it is, I'll hold it right on up to the camera so you can see it. It is the old Defender video game right there. Adam Emerson. He's here. Better late than never. Not better late. Hey, man. Better here than not. So, yeah, Defender by Alexander Pedals. I found this thing used online. I saw this. My pedal addiction kind of started when I found the Pedal movie. And if you guys haven't seen the Pedal movie, just go on to Apple or whatever, and I think you have to buy it. I don't think it's on YouTube to watch the whole thing, but it's worth $10. Go buy it, and oh man, has my live stream stopped? Did something stop? Something got weird. Anyway, the movie is called The Pedal Movie, and it's Josh from JHS pedals, and he does a whole movie about pedals. It's like history of pedals and all this. Then it got me hooked on the JHS show. In that movie, this Defender pedal, I saw it and I fell in love with it, and I was like, okay, this is really cool. And so anyway, fell in love with it and went and bought the pedal. I haven't used it on a board yet, but I will tell you, this is one of the most trippy, weird, versatile, crazy pedals that I have. It does a lot of stuff. There's clean. Let's see what happens when I just turn it on. Oh. Okay. Okay. Golly. That is a gain all the way up. Distortion. The lights are so bright on this thing. Oh, watch out. Okay. Oh, I see what's happening. There's dual stage lights on this thing. So this thing actually has 6 functions that these dual stage lights will actually go into. This is fuzz, I think. Oh my God. Oh, that's overdrive. Oh, what did I just do? Wow, man, there is some sort of crazy pitch. This thing, I don't even know if you can see it, man. So if you look really close, let's zoom down on this rascal. Let's zoom down on this rascal and get it really close where you can really, really see this thing. Let's see. Let's see if we can just zoom almost all the way in on it to where we go like this. The lights are probably making everything so wacky looking. There we go. That's all right. So if you see, this thing has like it has a semicircle above and below these 2 blue lights. And the semicircle has a blue and a purple and a red value. The blue on the top says OD, the purple says DST, which I guess is distortion, and the red says FZ, which I guess is fuzz. And the bottom says the blue is PIT, which is pitch, and the purple is SPC, which I guess is space, and the red is FLT. So I have no idea, unless I'm just completely missing the boat, what FLT will be. But right now, I am tripping on that pitch. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, yeah. So, wow, what am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't want to hold it. I'm holding it. What am I doing? Oh. Okay, so let's see what the purple-ish on the bottom does. I have no idea. No idea. No idea. Now let's see what it does. Still no idea. Oh. What? Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, FLT filter. Hello. So if we get the, it's like Michael Schenker. Totally like Michael Schenker. So the live stream looks a little weird on my screen, screen where the chat is. Tell me if it looks weird to you guys, if it looks frozen. If it doesn't, I am carrying on. I'm carrying on anyway. Let's see what we can get the fuzz. Yeah, let's see that. Yeah, I don't even know if I got the instructions for this one. Okay, says fine for you. Okay, cool. I have no idea if I even got the instructions for this pedal. I'm standing here turning knobs and going like, wow, I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, hold for Alt. Oh, that's better. That's what I wanted. No idea. Cool. The Defender by Alexander Pedals. Men don't need instructions. You are doing this right. Okay, great. I was wondering. I was like, I don't think it came with a booklet, but you just kind of press the buttons until you figure out, oh, it has a USB hub on it. I don't know what that's all about, but we'll see. Not tonight, but okay. So that is going to bring us to the end of this episode of Earthtones Live. I'm so glad everybody could join us, even if it was late, and that is perfectly fine. I appreciate you guys just having it on, probably playing in the background, listening to me standing here completely by myself in a completely empty of people, recording studio and going on and on and on, and recording an hour and a half. Again, 8:28. Didn't mean to go that long, but hey, we had a lot of stuff to bloviate about, a lot of stuff to talk about, and it was good. So again, the reason that I do these is so everybody can jump into the chat. We can all talk about things amongst ourselves, and that's totally cool. The other reason that I do this is because I don't like to go onto social media every single day and post about what I'm working on. I don't like to take videos of people that I'm working on. Look at this, because I'm working. I don't have time to do that. So what I try to do is I try to go at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, sometimes if I have to miss one of these Tuesdays, and I try to catch everybody up on it. So this is kind of my social media for the whole week. I hope I don't have to post about anything. But it's all good. That's the world we live in today. But this is going to be my thing. We do this. My interns go through, edit out little 1-minute videos, and I pop those up. That is my social media, but it will be more of just me doing this and showing you things and talking about things and letting you guys steer this conversation every single week. So without further ado, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate all of you guys and gals chiming in, and I'm glad you caught the whole thing too. Hey, who is that? Hand pink waving Bolt Sam. Okay, there you are. All right, so I'm out of here until next week, and we will be here next week with Dale Lastly. Do not forget about that. We are going to put the Marshall in some isolation. We're going to mic it up, and we're going to crank the living shit out of that thing. It's a 50-watt 74 metal face plexi, and it is glorious sounding. We're going to see how glorious it is. I'm going to show you some before and after pictures of it and just kind of let you see the craftsmanship and fine resurrection work is the only word I can think of Mr. Dale Lastly from DJL amplifiers, DJL services and Megatone amplifiers. So without further ado, I am out of here. Visit us at earthtonesrecording.com. Come and find me on social media. I seem to be everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. If you're watching on this YouTube channel, please subscribe and hit the notification button, and you will see these come up every Tuesday. I appreciate every single one of you joining in and just listening to me go on and on and on and talking to us about stuff. Until next week, I am out.